Riders, it's Josh from CycleHunters.com. Today we're going to be going over the part 2 video for the Suzuki Burgman 650 Executive. So we're going to be trying to finalize that service on the bike, on the scooter, maxi scooter. So sit back and enjoy. Also remember to hit like and subscribe, ding the notification bell, all that good stuff. If you have any questions or comments, please put those below. But take it away, Matt.
Alrighty guys, so we are back. Got our parts for the Burgman. Got a new air filter, and Jolie Moly, he just checked in our tires. Thanks, Joel. We love Joel. So I'm going to show you guys how simple it is to actually put the air filter in. And Phil, if you want to come in a little closer here. I mean, this bike, it couldn't be easier. Air filter lies behind this cover here. So you just open the door on the glove box, pop this cover off here. It just comes off super simple. Then you just take the fuse box assembly out, let that hang, and then you take off this separate fuse here, let that hang. And there's only 4 screws in there, just 4 Phillip head screws. So this is definitely something anybody who has some basic hand tools could accomplish themselves. It's not a very difficult job at all. And I'm surprised that this air filter was actually as dirty as it was because of how easy this is. I mean, 4 screws, it comes right out there, the cover pops off. I almost had Phil do this himself. I mean, it's a really easy job to do. Oh, dropping everything.
Not for me, man.
Yeah. So now we'll do an unbox video of our air filter. We went with the High Flow HFA 3619 as the part number. And I like high flow stuff. That's what we use here mostly is high flow. So all of our oil filters, air filters, we use high flow. We've had great success with it. Never had any issues. No, you're good. Phil's new to videoing. The screen just went blank. So if anybody knows about GoPros, that happens. You can just touch the screen again, Phil, it'll come back on. There you go.
All right, perfect.
Fixed it.
Fixed it. That was easy.
So air filter is super simple to install. You just make sure your arrows are pointing forward, and then your screen is facing down. So really easy to install in here. Slides in. A little bit of effort. There is a little bit of a rubber gasket on there, so it's not without effort. Could probably get away with putting a little bit of, let me get a little bit of grease on that. It's tight. Hold, please. All right, now I did use a little bit of grease on this. Now the grease that I used is Silglide. It's a silicone-based grease. If you are going to put a little bit of grease around here, there's a couple benefits to it. It'll actually help give it more of an airtight seal. And if you are going to use grease, use a silicone-based grease. You don't want to use a petroleum-based grease because it'll end up swelling the rubber gasket here. So, you know, just if you are going to use grease, because it is a tight fit. I mean, that didn't slide in very nicely. Now that we have a little bit of grease on there, that goes right in, easy peasy. It's going to be tight, but it shouldn't be beyond tight. There we go. Now that's in there. Sealed up. Put our cover on. And that is one air filter installed. Just make sure I put our cover on the correct way. Just like that. Bada bing, bada boom. And that's just another thing checked off of our 48-point checklist. Now I know that it has a nice brand new air filter. This thing should be ready to go for you guys for another several thousand miles before you have to even worry about that air filter. And if you purchased a motorcycle, here's the proof that we put a new air filter in it for you. Also, if you did purchase the motorcycle from us, thank you. We appreciate that. We're doing this all for you guys. And really, the reason we do this and go the extra step is because ultimately, guys, we want you to have a riding experience with your bike. We don't want you to have a mechanical experience with your motorcycle. We want you to get on the thing and go for that trip right away. You purchase a motorcycle and it is 100% ready to go anywhere you ask it to go. It's the reason for our checklist, and it's the reason why we spend the extra time to make it right for you guys. So that's air filter in. Now I'm just going to install tires on here, and I'm going to start with the rear first. I don't know how much we'll record of that, but I'm going to start with the rear. We got a set of scooter tires. Joel is very efficient, and he put them away already, so I'm going to get the rear wheel off, and then we're going to go head over and put a fresh set of tires on this thing.
Good point.
All right, guys. So to do the rear tire on the scooter is actually easier than most scooters, and because you don't have to take this swing arm off here. At least I don't think you do. I've actually not changed a tire on a Burgman for a while, so I could be completely wrong in saying that, but I don't believe you have to take the entire swing arm apart just to get the rear wheel off of the Burgman. You do have to put it on the center stand though. So we have this bike up on the center stand, and I'm removing the rear brake caliper because that is something that needs removed. And we're going to find out how deep we go into this to get this rear wheel off. Looks like I'd probably have to take this off. Just make it easy for myself. I'm one of those that would rather take more parts off than try and wiggle something out and potentially damage it. So I'm going to remove as much as I have to so that I don't break anything or damage anything when I'm removing this. Caliper off. And then to set the, oh, I already made a bad move here. Actually, no, I got an impact. So if you don't have an impact, you'll want to loosen this nut first by holding the parking brake on, but I have an impact, so I'm not worried about it. If anybody's keeping score at home, it's a 24mm socket. Lefty loosey. Nothing special there. Get this cover off. Axle out there. I do appreciate somebody who has greased their axle at one point in time, because sometimes these can be a nightmare to get that stuff out of there. Alrighty, so pop this out. Oh, it's in there tight. There we go. One collar, two collar, and this should slide out and come down. Just like that. I'm going to head over. I'm just going to put a tire on. You can come with me if you'd like, but I don't know. You don't have to. Ugh. I'm going to go. Did you get the tire machine?
About 2 years ago.
All right.
Actually, no, probably 4 years ago.
Well, it's going to be a little loud out here. All right, tires changed. We went with some, what are these? Freestyles, feel-free tires here from Metzler. Kind of bummed. I know Phil was a little bit bummed at this because these were the only matching set were the feel-frees. But, oh well. It's a good looking tire, I think. I think it should do pretty well on the scooter. It's hard to find a matching set of scooter tires actually because they're all such different sizes. You know, you find the rear for this, but then you can't find the matching front. So these were a little bit on the pricier side, but they're a good tire. I think they'll be just fine on here.
Speed rating was a big thing on these.
Yes.
Not every scooter does over 110.
Yeah, so if you guys didn't hear that, Phil said that the speed rating was our biggest setback on these. You could find the tire in the right size, but this is a speed rating of an H, I believe. Yeah, this is an H-rated tire, so it's rated for over 112 miles an hour.
130.
Yeah, 130 is what this is rated at. And I know you're probably laughing, but a Burgman scooter can probably go at least 112. I mean, I don't know exactly how fast they can go, but they aren't a slow scooter, that's for sure. Oh, I got a little bolt here. Giving me a little bit of a problem. There we go. Get the tire back in. There we go. Slide her back in there, and she'll be ready to go. It's like Legos here, putting all the pieces back together correctly. This is the fun part here, getting these spacers in. Okay, it's not that much fun. All right, so one of the things that we do offer here at Cycle Hunters, and I kind of wanted to bring it up, is we will change tires. We don't just change tires on our own bikes. We do service to any motorcycle that you bring in, and we offer tire change service. A couple years ago, about 4 years ago, I was talking to Phil. He decided to get a tire machine and balancer, and because he wanted to just do all his stuff in-house. He was tired of sending the stuff out, and he was just like, well, I'm going to buy a tire machine myself, and now we can change tires. So if you're watching this video and you need some service work, be it tire changes or anything you see us do on any of these videos, we can definitely do that work to your bike as well. Of course, this is being a bear. Might need, oh, there we go. There we go. Perfect. Everything to line up. Put my axle back through. And I'm going to snug everything up for now. I like to torque everything back on, so I'm going to go search the internet, find all the torque specs on this stuff to make sure that it's all properly tightened. Because especially an axle, you don't want to over tighten that. You can end up damaging stuff. And I also torque things because I don't want them to fall off. And if I torque it, then at least I know it's tightened. So once I finagle all this stuff on here, I'll be ready to go. That's good, Phil. I don't know if we need to get too close to Joel.
Joel, do you have anything to add to that?
I'm doing parts right now. Thank you very little.
That's all you have to add?
Go away. 50617. See, I'm totally lost focus off by one number. It throws me right out of the boat. 50617.
That's who you think you're talking to, Joey. Who do you think you're talking to?
50617.
Not my first day at the rodeo.
MB1. The capital letters. Thank you very much.
All right, so you got the front tire on here. If you look at her here, these are actually pretty nice tires. I'm anxious to see how they handle. But one thing I like to do is I like to not only torque the bolts when I put this together, but I mark my bolts after I torque them. And just a little extra. Number one, it helps me to remember that I torqued that bolt, and I can keep an eye on it, see if it moves after a test ride or something. So just a little thing I like to do on all bolts that I remember. I just mark the bolts after I torque them. But that's pretty much, this scooter is all wrapped up. The only thing left to do is actually take it out on the road, give it a good test ride, and see if anything else is amiss with it. But everything felt good just riding it around to this point here. So I don't think there's going to be anything. But if there is, we'll bring it up in the next video. If there's nothing wrong with it, then the next video you'll see on this scooter is either a ride and review or Josh just walking around the bike, just showing you the entire scooter. We do have to, replace things like this turn signal here, that's on order, and this brake lever here, that's on order. So those things will be new and replaced. But as far as the 48-point checklist, we are completely done. This one did get 2 new tires, new air filter, and we went through, changed all the fluids that were in need of repair and changing. So engine oil, transmission oil, rear differential look good, like I said in the prior video. Brakes all look good on this. So yeah, she's ready to go. Josh just needs to detail her up, and then she'll be ready for her forever home. But as always, guys, if you liked the video, drop a thumbs up below. Any comments are welcome. I know you guys really like these Burgman scooters. That's why we were putting these little videos together on them. But if you're not a subscriber, consider hitting that subscribe button. And we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for checking this one out, guys.
Thanks, Matt. Well, there you have it. So the 48-point checklist, we've gone over that Suzuki Burgman 650 as most thoroughly as we could possibly go over the machine, so that when you get it, it is as close to 100% as we can make it. And you guys definitely like these Suzuki Burgmans. I can't say enough about them because they are really great, and as far as what they offer in terms of every bit of performance that you can get from a scooter to the storage, they're just very, very well-rounded scooters, the maxi scooter. So stay tuned for the next video. It's going to be a walk around. We're probably going to do a little bit of a ride as well, just to go over and review it. But until the next video, happy riding.